Spotify Premium sounds like ad-free music listening to your ears. Better get it while you can, though. It's your last chance to get 3 months free and cancel anytime. Tap the banner to learn more.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. tape my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption, breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are we doing tonight? Well, it's been a while since I did a proper product render live stream. But hey, we're back at it again. And today we are actually going to be making rings. So, let me give you a little bit of a background story. What actually happened? So, in our server, by the way, links in the pinned comment, join right now. So, what actually happened was we were playing Warzone and we actually had a really good game. And I was like, GG boys, good game. And one of my friends actually saw me wearing rings. He was like, dude, since you wear rings, you haven't done any sort of ring render. So today's live stream is actually dedicated to Ali Raza over here, who suggested me to make a ring render. So yeah, shout out to you, Ali. So I think without wasting even a single second, we should begin. So let me just put Discord over here on this screen. And let me open up Octane and Blender. And let me just switch it up for you guys. And let me just get into position and let's wait for Blender to open up. And for the Discord crew, I'm going to be turning off my camera and sharing my entire screen. Yep, it opened up. Now let me just check if it's visible. It's visible on YouTube. It's visible on Instagram. And I think we might have to cut the Instagram short. Instagram live actually, sorry, my bad. Because the plugin that I'm using to live stream vertically just glitched out again. So on Behance it's working. So ladies and gentlemen, another big news. We are actually live streaming on 3 different platforms. I mean 2 for now, because Instagram glitched out. So we were actually live streaming on Instagram, YouTube and Behance at the same time. So if you guys want to join any platform, you can do that. And with that out of the way, let me show you guys the reference image that we have. So basically we are going to be taking this and recreating it. And let me just open up PureRef, drag this over here. And what I will be doing is, yep, now we can see that. Now I'll drag that image and put it over here so you guys could also see it as well. Now just give me a second, let me just readjust everything over here. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start off by deleting everything and let's focus on making the ring. But before that, I'll just open up screencast keys. Here it is. Okay, I guess we are almost ready. Let me just put this over here. Screencast keys. Yep. Now I'll just put this over here. Go to shade editor, and since we're working with Octane, let's first of all switch to Octane, new, and path tracing. Let's see if Octane is working. Yep, it's working perfectly fine. So let's just make a simple ring. And for that, I'll just add in a circle. 32. That looks about good. I'll extrude it up on the Z-axis. And now I'll select all of these. Now I'll select this top part and this bottom part and go to delete vertices. I'll select these two and go to where is bridge edges, bridge edge loops. And now what we are going to be doing is Control 2, shade smooth, and we are somewhat over there. Now what I'm going to be doing is making another loop cut and just putting it closer. Same goes for this one. And yeah, we got the ring where we want it. Now I'm not going to be modeling this exact ring over here, but what I'm going to be modeling is the ring that I wear on a daily basis. So yeah, you're in for a wild ride, and if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. Let me just make a project file before I lose anything. Now Control R, and I'll scale it up a bit. scale it up a bit. Because the ring that I'm wearing, it's not that thick. So yeah, this is the reason I wear it like 24/7, except for the times when I'm sleeping, obviously. By the way, do you guys wear jewelry? Talking to the men out there, like watches, rings, earrings, those sort of things. If you do, hey, just tell me in the chat. Let's have a conversation regarding that. Now let me just hide these panels over here because now the texture phase started. Let me just put it on Aces color.
Hello.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one of my good friends, more like a brother at this point, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tala Hasib, has arrived on the stage. So Tala, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hey, I'm not gonna be able to talk much today. I'm gonna be chatting in the side chat. So yeah.
Hey, no worries. By the way, did you enjoy your film?
Oh yeah.
Nice. So ladies and gentlemen, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the black paint or the black metal for the ring. So we're going to be adding in the metallic material. Let me just hook it up. And you know what? Before we even do that, let me just add in a decent HDRI. So we'll go Shift A, S, and texture environment and RGB image. Studio, plug it in. And a pro tip for anyone who's using Blender Octane: whenever you use anything that's not an albedo, put the legacy gamma to 1. Now let's work on the ring. Now as we can see, we are getting a silver ring, which we could just make the internals and just call it a day by using this reference over here. Or as I stated before, I'm going to be actually making the ring that I'm wearing in my hand right now. And by the way, this is a smart ring, this is not. So yeah, that's another difference for you. So I'm going to be adding in an
There was a
RGB
smart
color.
ring. Your ring is dumb.
Yep, I have a dumb ring. So I'll plug it into the specular color and make it dark. Dude, it's almost similar to the ring that I'm wearing right now. But to be honest, I might add like a little bit of scratches and those sort of things. So let me just add in a gradient map. Here it is. Let me take this out, Shift A, and I'll add in noise, Cinema 4D noise. Use 4D noise. Fractal noise. Dude, like what the hell? The noises are not working. Let's try it again. Okay, it's showing over there. So I'll turn off absolute. bit too small. Okay. So yeah, we got the color right. Now let me just plug it into the roughness. Now let's put it to invert. I'll just duplicate this, put it over here. And just make it grayish. Let's save it. So yeah, basically we want to make it look like it's chipped. Okay, got the look that we wanted. Now let's work on the other textures. So I'll just make another texture over here. Let's save it before anything else happens. Now I'll assign this to this one. Now we got our universal texture over here. And what I'm going to be doing is looking for a wood texture, and Blender crashed. So let me open it up again. So let me turn this on again.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to
Let's make a new material, save it, and type in wood. And whenever you're using Blender Octane, it is better for you, especially if you're outsourcing your textures. You guys should always use PBR textures. And how can we separate PBR textures from procedural textures, especially in BlenderKit? It's pretty simple. If we come over here and go to search filters, we could see we got both procedural and texture based, which we need right now. So let me just do that. Yep, that's the texture that I was looking for. So let me just put that. And now since we are going to be converting it, what we need to do is remove all of this extra stuff. Otherwise, Blender's going to be like, what are you putting in? Not in the volume over here. And I'll scroll down over here to converters, convert. And as we can see, it worked perfectly. But there's one thing that I'm going to be doing. Let me just put them down. Put this to 4K. Now I'm going to be coming over here to material layers, add input, layer 1, specular layer, just to add that shininess. A bit of roughness. Dude, this looks great already. So let's come back to material 1. And let me just reduce the paint things a bit. Just like that. And now let's add some scratches onto the acrylic. Let's save it. A bit of thin film. Now, scratches. And I'll plug it into our roughness map over here. Or better yet, let's plug it into the bump. UV transform and projection. Let's enable those as well. Yep, that looks pretty good. And as for like the thin film, I might even reduce that as well. Okay, that looks really good. Let's add in a layer of sheen. Reduce the roughness somewhat around 0.8. So yeah, this is really similar to what I'm wearing right now. So yeah, let's just save it up and let's start making the scene now. So first of all, what we are going to be doing is saving the project before anything. This is why you should save your project.
Speak of the devil, right?
Yep, it was a good thing
Okay.
that I saved it on the right time.
Damn.
Now, welcome back to Blender Kit, and we are going to be searching for human. Here it is. Cursor to selected. Selected to cursor. And what we could also do is put our 3D cursor over here and select it to cursor. And let's just scale it down.
Spotify Premium sounds like ad-free music listening to your ears.
Okay,
Better get
so
it
we
while
got
you
this
can, though.
exact size of the ring that we
Your
needed.
last chance to get 3
So
months
let's just
free
save it
cancel
and
anytime.
apply the scale
Tap
and
Planner to learn more.
delete this. And let's have a look in the 3D render if everything is all right. As suspected, we did get some issues, especially with the scratches. So let's just reduce them. Mm,
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing
now let's fix this. And I'll just reduce the color a bit. And I just noticed my screencast keys were actually off. So let me just turn them back on again. And let's save it. And now what we are going to be doing is we're actually going to be using another software which is called Quixel Bridge. So let's just open it.
rages around like an ocean in my head.
Download later. Oh, it wants me to sign in. Let me just quickly do that. So with Google. Why is it not signing in? Come on. Ah, finally. Now it accepted my password. Hey, Play Gravity. How you doing? And it decided to not work again. Let's try it one more time. It works, it works. I'm working as a product as a channel. Which circular octane. Okay, so Lay Gravity, let me just tell you one thing. A software or a render engine is just a tool. It doesn't matter if you use Cycles or if you use Octane. What more so depends on what you can put on the table using the tools that you have. I mean, I switched from Cycles to Octane just because of one reason, to elevate my quality. And if you want to do the same, hey, go to Octane. But yet again, if you know the fundamentals, if you know how to light your scene and those sort of stuff, then go to these softwares. Otherwise, don't even think about going to them, because you're basically going to be shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, so this is not working. So what I'm going to be doing is I actually have like a couple of assets that I downloaded previously. So let me just go to Megascans, downloaded, and I'll search for rocks. Not this one. Not even this one. I need like a small rock. Yeah, something like that. So let's just take the LOD0 one. LOD4. That's an EXO. I'll just copy the link. File. Import. FBX. Cursor just selected. Selected to cursor. And now let's have a look at our scene. So we have one rock which is like holding up the ring, and two just controlling the background. So let's just quickly do that. But before we do that, hit the like button. Let's go to render. And I'll delete all of this. Control Shift T. I'll come over here. LOD0. Roughness. Albedo. And displacement. And that didn't work. So Control Shift T. Let's go roughness. I'll have to do it manually. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's just add in an RGB image and connect it to our albedo. Put it to 0.5, and I don't know why this happens whenever I'm using Megascans. I have to put the gamma to 0.5. So if you guys know what am I doing wrong, do let me know in the comments. Let's make another duplicate over here, and roughness. Let's connect it to the roughness. Let's open up our LOD maps. Put this into our normals. And let's make another duplicate. Open. And displacement. And for the displacement, what we are going to be doing is making a texture displacement and plugging it straight into it. So let's just save it. And I'll make all of these other maps into one. Put this to 4K. Save it up. Version. Let's save it up. And now let's start positioning our camera over here. So I'll quickly just make a camera, Control Alt 0. And I'll put it like this. Go to my camera view. The lens should be 108 because a lot of photography, especially like product photography, 108 lens is the way to go. So select it to cursor. Hold. Oh, that's also an NC's track. I was like, dude, this is the first time I'm hearing that music. So G, Shift Z. Let's just put it like this. Now I'll just add in a plane. Go to edit mode, select this, EZ, go Control B, shade smooth, let me put this rock over here. Save it up. And now what I'm actually going to be doing is, but first of all, let's come over here, put this to 100, and let's make a decent resolution that we can post on. 1920, that looks good. 810. Let me just put it like this. Select this, go to my camera, turn off autofocus, and show me the limits. And let's yeet it back a bit. Okay. Let's try to find like a good angle over here. Yep, that looks great. Now what we are going to be doing is going to our world settings. Let me turn that off. And putting the power to 0 because we're going to be manually lighting it now. And we are actually going to be using a gobo. So if you guys never used a gobo before, especially in Blender Octane, well, you're going to be learning something new. So let's just add in an area light over here. We'll go to our object settings over here and add in an RGB image. Why did I add a color? RGB image. I'll open this and go to my asset folder, gobo light texture, now I'll plug it into the distribution and take it all the way up. Now you're gonna be like, okay, we see it a little bit on the light, but it's not what we expected. Well, hold up. There's like one thing you need to do. Now come into your light settings, take the size and just shrink it down. The more you shrink it down, the more clearer it gets. So with that, now what we are actually going to be doing is, let me just reduce this first. I'll take it up. UV transform projection. We actually don't need this projection. What we need is a box projection. So let's just put it over here. And I'll put this over here. I'll make it a little bit bigger so that the edges are a bit soft. And we don't directly need it on our product. But what we do need is, if I take it like up, rotation X, go GX, rotation Z. Now we'll come over here. Let's save it. And instead of this color, let me just brighten it up a bit. We'll make it a bit warm. And now I'm actually gonna be adding another light over here. Area light. Now I'll go control, number pad 0. Now we're in the light. Then if I do shift tilde, I can move it like you're playing Warzone. I'll put it over here. I'll go to my camera. And for this light, I'll just try to reduce it as much as I can. Let me just scale it down a bit. So let me just reposition it because I didn't like that angle. And I'll just put it a bit down. I'll take this, go to my focus point. And just go like this. And let me just confirm. Yep, it's focusing on the ring. And if you guys come from like a photography background, there's one useful thing over here for you guys. So if you go to use f-stop, you could actually use the real world f-stop that you use in your DSLR. So let's say if we don't like the look with like 2.8, we could put it like at 1.8 and get more shallow depth of field. But for this one, 2.8 is good. And someone is playing Counter-Strike. Good luck with the game. GG boy. So now I'm going to be coming over here to Octane. And in the post-processing, let me just increase a little bit of the bloom. And let's just play with the light a bit. Or you know what? Let's just add in a black body emission. Boom. And for the temperature, 3500. Nah, that's a bit too much. 5500. Make it to 3 cursor. And let's hide it. Shift D. Now I'll go to the front. Let's take this and reduce the texture. Same goes for this one. And if we come back over here, you know what, let's change the texture a bit. Where are the leaves? Oh, okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'll put it to bounce again. So let's just check our guides for a second. If we are actually in the proper line or not. We'll just come over here. Rule of thirds. Yep, we are actually in it. So yeah, I think we're done with our first render. So let's just render it out. But before we do that, we need to turn on our denoiser. So we'll click on denoiser, beauty, and we'll go to our compositor, use nodes, and if we come over here, denoise beauty, boom, let's save it and render it out. So until this is rendering out, if you guys have any sort of questions, just type it in. Bacha Plays says, bad joke. I mean, bro, it was a joke for you. You thought I was playing Warzone, but I was actually live streaming, so yeah. And speaking of bad jokes, Bacha is actually in the voice chat, so let's call him up. Come up, Bacha.
Hello.
Hello. What was the bad joke that you were talking about?
That's the thing. I noticed that
He was talking about himself.
Oh.
Where that come from?
By the way, guys, what do you think about this render?
Yeah, looking good, looking good.
Tala, what are your remarks?
Oh, that looks good. That looks good.
So we got one of the angles ready, and now we are.
Brother, we can use volumetric in this.
Nah, bro, you shouldn't place volumetrics in like everything, otherwise you just ruin the grace of it. So let me just put it over here. Select our camera, put it onto 3D cursor, rotation Z. You know what? Let's take out our second render. Layout. So basically we're going to be taking out 5 renders from this set, and I'm going to be showing you how I actually make GIFs for my BS posts as well. So yeah, you're in for a treat today. Okay, we got that done. Render number 3. I'll go Shift D. Okay, now I'll grab this. Okay, this one looks a bit bright to me. So what we're gonna be doing is in our camera settings, render mode, I'll just reduce the exposure. I think I might have to do it from over here. Yep, but yet again, it's actually breaking it off. So I might take like an image like this. Yep, that looks pretty good. So let's save it and render it out. So this is our first image, this is our second, and this is gonna be our third image. And done. Let's go to our camera, duplicate it again. Let's just put it like this. Save it and let's just render it out. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 4 images are more than enough for this live stream. So let's just take it out and we'll export our viewport images. By the way, guys, if you're watching me on Behance and this is the first time you're seeing this face, hey, do follow, because whenever I get the time, I try to do live streams and teach you guys how you can make amazing renders, as you can see on your screen. So I think that's one reason to follow me. And besides that, I'm going to be posting like amazing artworks and some unannounced big things are going to be coming. So yeah, just follow me. Let's save this project and let's start saving the images. Raw 1, images, save 2, 3, 4. Now let's go back to our viewport, to our camera 1. Now I'm going to be turning off all of these, turning this on, and since all of my branding is in red color, I'll select everything, go to view, render image, and I got the red color. So save it, I'll type it in V1. Now comes the solid render. For this one, what I'm going to be doing is coming down to my color management. I'll switch it to standard for this particular render. Images, save, V2. Let's save it up, put it back to raw. Either you can go from that or now let's export our clay render. And in Blender Octane, it's pretty simple. Just come over here to clay mode and put it to gray, and whoop, let's render it out. Denoising, and we are done with that. So let's just put it to V3, save it up, and let's just close this. And now we are actually going to be going into Photoshop.
Switch up your flow wherever life takes you without missing a beat. Just download
Now
Go.
we'll go to
Spotify
our
Premium.
folder.
Get 3 free months of premium before it ends and cancel anytime. Tap the banner to learn more.
Raw. I'll drag them and drop them. Duck, duck, duck. Now what I'm going to be doing is converting them to a smart object. Control Shift A. Go to basic. Increase the clarity. Add in the textures. Pick up the blacks. Pick up the shadows. Reduce the exposure a bit. Add the vibrance. Make it a bit warm, just a tiny tad bit. Let's put some reds in it, because we want it to be warm and welcome. And I'll just go to effects, add in grain, and I'll just add in a vignette over here, and that looks pretty good. Now we are going to be adding in a color lookup, and I have a lot of LUTs over here, so let's just go through them. You know what, this looks like those rare renders that don't need any sort of LUT, so I'll just turn them off.
Sorry.
And no worries, no worries. The only thing that I'm going to be doing is adding in a curves over here, boosting it up a bit, and hue and saturation, and giving it a little bit of saturation. So I imagine this like being a full-on poster, so let's just make that. Hussein and Tala, you guys still with me?
Yeah. I'm watching.
Oh, okay. So if you guys had to start like a ring brand, what would you call it?
Ringster.
Ringster. Okay, that sounds really good. That sounds really good.
Ring hub.
Ring hub. I mean, I like Tala's suggestion.
Ring star.
Ringster.
Ring star. Star is a good one.
Bro, Ringstar is like, it's like a gangster name, and we're going for elegance over here. So let me just put it over here, turn it to white, add in the drop shadow. Your white is a bit distracting on the eyes. Let's just put this over here. And Alt And let's just open this up a bit. Let's select our text. Okay, since we are done with that, let's just come over here to this one. Image, filter, camera raw filter. And we're basically going to be duplicating what we did in the previous image. So yeah, buckle up. Convert to smart object, Control Shift A to add the camera raw filter. And apply previous. Boom. Same goes for this one. Convert to smart object. Any free software for posting products for images? Gravity, I didn't get what you were trying to say. Let's apply it. Save. 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 And let's export this one, because those are being replaced and we need this for one particular reason. And what's that reason? You'll know in a bit. So I'll just type it in V4, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with that, we are 90% done. And what is the remaining 10%? Well, it's basically making the GIF. So let me just quickly show you guys how I make my GIFs. So let's just save it up. Yeah, okay, just go. Now we're gonna be opening up Premiere Pro. Now I'll just open up the project. I have actually made a project file for this particular reason. So let me just open it up. Long time, sir. How have you been? Aryan, it's been a while, I know. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So let's just come over here. I'll just make another bin. Let's open it up. I'll drag image number 1 and all of the viewport images and put them over here. So I'll just delete everything from this timeline. I'll start by placing the wireframe, then the clay, the viewport, the clay, and now the raw render, and then the compositing. So now I'll just take this layer, which is actually a PSD layer, and I'll open it up. And you know what? For the GIF, I'm actually going to be removing the text. So yeah, might take an extra second. So I'll just open it up. Boom. Export. V4 GIF. Let's save it again. And I'll import it. Or better yet, let's just drag and drop it. And I'll replace it over here. Now going back into Photoshop, let's just open this again. I'll enable the background over here. Ringster. Luxury rings. Now I'll grab them. And just put it like this. And if I disable the background and save it now, it should be updated. Just like that. It should be a bit small. Let's save it. Yep, just like that. And now let's add the vibes. Over here in Premiere, we actually need to go to our effects panel and type in vibe. And if we scroll down, boop, 2, 3, 4, and to complete the loop, we'll just duplicate this and just put a vibe over here as well. Now it's a bit too fast, so we'll have to spread it out. My apologies. So yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Now let me show you the export settings. And boom. Now over here, I already have made it a GIF. So let's just go to our destination, live, new folder, because it wasn't able to name itself. V1, save, transparency, none obviously, frame sampling okay, and use maximum render depth. Besides that, everything should be untouched. You don't need to touch it. And 3, 2, 1, boom. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are done with today's stream. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. You've learned something new. And I hope you guys make this exact render or take like notes from it and make something else that you want to make. And do tag me. Tag me on Behance, tag me on Instagram, tag me even on like Facebook. If you guys even use Facebook at this point. But anyways, guys, that does it for today. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, God bless you all and your families. See you around, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.